Would you say that nurses should have like a residency or something similar?
No, I don't actually. And the reason I say it depends. I mean, because I think that if you are, in the nursing field, if you're working with one person as in residency, if you were to work in a facility where you were working with several different people over a period of time, I think that would be more beneficial. But I don't know if a residency would help per se, because most facilities kind of do one already. If you come in as a new grad, they're going to put you through their new grad program, which is going to be 12 to 16 weeks of training, and you're working with a nurse, that's hand in hand. I think it'd be more beneficial if you had nurses that were skilled and experienced and good teachers and proven that could mentor you appropriately. I saw some that would be hands-on with you and teach you a bunch. I saw some that would go, I teach from afar, go when you fuck up, or excuse me, when you mess up, you come back and we'll fix it. It's like, wait a minute, no, no, that's the whole point. You're supposed to be with me. Yeah, I've seen it all. And I think that if you had, like I did, I had a really great nurse. I think that if I was a facility, I'd hire her and pay her, X amount more an hour. And I'd have her work with, students, work with nurses, to improve our nurses and make them better, get our new grads out there, so that they're capable of doing things on their own and maybe them teaching more people, but yeah.
Would you say that also the preceptor problem, I guess you put it, impacts the amount of nurses that can go out and practice effectively?
What do you mean? I mean, because there's not enough of them?
You said that you went through 6 of them because there were just some who didn't teach you well or had some other problem. Do you think that issue, that the preceptors are not always consistently good?
Yes, that's kind of where I was going with that, is if you had a specific group of preceptors that were highly knowledgeable and willing to teach you, and they were not burnt out, because that's the biggest problem. Man, they were excited to still come to work and still help. But that, I think the bigger problem isn't necessarily them. I think that's the management. And that's the bigger problem, is management is not doing what they're supposed to be doing to make sure that you get the training that you need. Okay. In the facility I was at, she acted like she was on your side. She did everything she could, to make it seem like that. But when you start seeing the true colors, it was more like, well, you're just a number. You were just a number. And I actually told a buddy of mine this: in the ER, you're a number. In the OR, you're an asset. And that's the difference, because in the OR, I could leave tomorrow and I have 10 different job offers. In the ER, I could probably leave and have 10 of it, but they don't want that. You are just a body, In the OR, they want to keep you because they don't want to, they like, having someone who knows what's going on, what's doing. But in the ER, you don't necessarily need to know everything you're doing, because you have a doctor dictating what you can and can't do. Okay. They don't need you to set up anything. Oh, they need a hand trace setup or a suture kit or, whatever, but that's simple stuff. It doesn't take a lot of mind work to do that stuff. So I think more of it is the management side of things is the bigger problem, especially in the ER.